नमस्कार, मैं हूँ बॉबी और स्वागत है आपका हीलो लाइफ में। आज हमारे साथ जो मेहमान है वो वाकई में मेहमान ही है, क्योंकि ये एक अलग देश से आते हैं। तो क्योंकि ये अलग देश से आते हैं, एनीवेज मतलब मेरे लिए नेशनलिटी बिल्कुल ही भी मैटर नहीं करती। इट्स नॉट a matter to be spoken or discussed, but still because he's a guest to our country, that's why ये मैं मेहमान बुला रही हूँ इनको। तो ये आते हैं अर्मेनिया से। और इनकी ना जो जर्नी रही है, जो मैंने ऑफ कैमरा बात करी है, इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। लाइक एक कोऑपरेट से सीधा, मतलब एक मैथमेटिशियन फैमिली से आते हैं और फिर कोऑपरेट लाइफ में जाते हैं, पढ़ाई करते हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, है ना, स्टॉक मार्केट वगैरह वगैरह चीजों में। एंड देन एकदम ही कम्प्लीटली एक 180 डिग्री शिफ्ट हो जाता है एंड जर्नी चेंजेस एंड टेक्स अ डिफरेंट रूट। सो आइए बात करते हैं और इनका स्वागत करते हैं और जानते हैं इनके बारे में और इनकी जर्नी के बारे में कि व्हाट ब्रिंग्स हिम टू इंडिया, ये भी जानेंगे और बहुत सारी इंटरेस्टिंग बातें करेंगे। आइए स्वागत करते हैं इनका। इनका नाम है आर्मन। बाय द वे ये मैं भूल रही थी, तो आइए स्वागत करते हैं आर्मन जी का। वेलकम टू आवर शो आर्मन।
Thank you.
एंड yeah, so as I was mentioning in the opening, that the shift that has happened from corporate world to what you're doing, right? You are a coach. You've been coaching so many people from last 7 years, and before that, the life was completely different. Okay,
Yeah,
so what inspired and how the journey began? Actually, we would like to know that to start with. Yeah.
I grew up in Armenia, and for university I went to Northeast USA. So it was 1 hour south from New York, University of Pennsylvania, one of the top 10 universities in
Okay.
the world. I started with mathematics, then also studied computer science, business. So the system in America is a bit different from here. You are free to choose a major, and then besides your major, you can choose many classes
Okay.
from all over the place. So you can do a minor or you can take free courses. So I took many courses in psychology, in business, in statistics, writing, history as well. But my strong academic side was still mathematics, machine learning, data science, computer science. So I was imagining a career in that. One summer I worked in software engineering, and I enjoyed it somewhat. And it was I was working in a startup. It was paying okay. Then the next summer, my junior year started. So after my third year,
Okay.
I worked in New York in a big hedge fund called the Ishaw. Now, the Ishaw is the company that Jeff Bezos of Amazon came out and went to
Right. Right.
found Amazon. It's a company of physicists and mathematicians who are just crashing the Wall Street and building these systems with machine learning to do good investments and trades on Wall Street. So I went through a hard 5 rounds of interviews, and I was chosen to work there. And I was initially very excited about that because I know I'm very strong in mathematics and logic, and I'm like, hey, I can use my brain to build this wonderful systems to make good money for the company, and they were paying me very well. They were paying me for an internship
Okay.
$10,000 per month
Very
clean.
nice.
So I was very young, and such money was very big for me because I was growing up in I'm like an average financially family
Okay.
in Armenia, so this was huge money. But very soon, I looked around myself, and the life was so gray. I looked at my colleagues, my manager who was making $500,000 a year minimum, but I think 1 or 2 million. And I looked like he has this papers in front of him. He's sitting on a table, his hands are like this. I don't want to become like that. I love the person, I respect him, but I don't want my life to be like that. And then perhaps I was overconfident, perhaps I was wild, but I thought I want to make my own path in the world. I don't want to depend on anyone. I
Right.
want to develop all the abilities, so that I can be fully independent. I can work whenever I want, not work whenever I want. I can decide my projects. I can decide where I'm investing my time. Our time is our most precious resource and
Absolutely.
investment.
Yes.
Our time and our attention. So when we put our energy, our time, our attention towards something, we are investing our life force energy into that.
Absolutely.
So when I'm investing my life force energy in a company, I have no idea like how they are like
Where is it going?
impacting the world
Yeah.
in a big way. That's not dharma. That's a bit adharmic. So I want to know and be aware where I'm investing my energy. And unless there is a big project that I understand and believe in, and I want to
Hmm.
invest in that, first, I want to invest my energy into myself, the startup of me. I'm a startup. The more I invest in myself, the bigger I grow. On the other hand, when I'm employed by a big corporation, then I stop being a startup and I'm an employee and I'm investing in them. So
Yes.
I'm growing their startup, but I better be growing my own
Own
startup.
startup.
So, and then the path started to of this development, personal development, and I had high ambitions. Uh, Here is what I mean. People consider that hey, you can go to a good university, acquire good skills, and that's about it. The level of development, intellectually, spiritually, huh?
Yeah.
And then I said, why is there a ceiling? Why is there a ceiling? I don't want to put a ceiling. What if I can go like much beyond that, 5 times beyond that, and acquire the mental abilities, the skills, the awareness, the feeling of myself, body, interactions, the
Yeah.
world, nature, that is beyond that. So I studied the journey towards that. And after a few years into the journey, I realized that, hey, I have been doing this full time, investing in myself and growing. And now I got to a point where I have skills that I can use to help others grow.
Wow.
It naturally happened because
Okay.
people were gravitating towards me, and I was naturally being helpful to them to take their life into the next level. First, relatives, friends, and then at some point, I'm like, why don't I make this into a career? And I can do this work. I love this work because I'm impacting in people's well-being. I love that. I have
Yeah.
my independence,
Yeah.
and also, so 30% of the day, or 20 to 30, I'm working with my clients and impacting into their personal development. But 60-70% of my energy, I'm still investing in my own
Yourself.
growth. And it helps them also because a year later, I'm all on a whole new level. So I can impact them better. So far it's been
That's
nice.
how your coaching started.
Yes.
Okay. So, as you've read so many books, the spiritual books or the religious book, I I'm not quoting it particularly because I have been seeing this misunderstanding people having in society. Everybody now today, spirituality is turning into a fashion also. Okay,
Oh,
that
totally.
yes, it has become a fashion
Mm.
now, and a competitive fashion it is. I am more superior. My practice is more superior, or
Yeah.
every individual is doing that mostly, and so, anyways, coming back to this misunderstanding, like you have read books, and so how, like you have read Gita several times,
Mm.
right? You've read Quran,
Mm.
right? So, but how did Bhagavad Gita happen to you? It happened here in India or somewhere else?
So let me start from there, how I got into spirituality.
Yes.
Because first I was into personal development, but not yet spirituality.
Okay, when you started coaching people, you don't say that you were completely spiritual at that
Completely
time.
no, not
Okay,
completely.
okay,
The journeys kind of like were intertwined, but I talked about my shift from corporate world towards independent practitioner. Let me also speak a bit about my shift
sure.
towards spirituality. Mm, well, it started from pain because I was in university and I at some point I realized I was going through depression. My well-being went down, my mood, my productivity, and I said I don't agree to put myself in the hands of the medical system and say just drug me and I trust in all of that.
Mm.
But I was perhaps again overconfident, and I said, I'm gonna do the research myself and get to the bottom of how my body works to understand fully my body and food, vitamins, minerals, hormones, neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine, everything to figure it out myself. That started the journey to first go and understand the biology. And then after mastering the biology of my body, it took me a bit, but there was still a ceiling. And then I went to psychology, and that took me a little more. And then I had to go into spirituality because biology and psychology together didn't solve the whole thing. So I had to do one more step. One day I was in the peaks of my depression. I did not like the university atmosphere. It was very materialistic, just cutthroat, don't care about each other feeling.
Yeah.
And I was more in tune with the trees and the birds around me. So I'm walking on campus barefoot, and this woman just walks towards me and hands me a copy of Bhagavad Gita. So that was my first introduction to Bhagavad Gita. I started reading. I felt that there is something powerful in here. That said, it was a mainstream religious commentary together with the Bhagavad Gita. So that part I wasn't a fan of, but I felt that the original is powerful, and I said myself I have to find a good original translations without commentary, just the shloks
Okay.
translated into English. And then when I try to find a translation, I'm very aware that depending on the translator, you can get from point A to point B, point C, point D. So I did extensive research to find some 6, 7 authoritative translations of the
Okay.
Gita
Mm.
and read them, compare them, use the Sanskrit English dictionary also. And people, even Hindus, many Hindus don't know that the Bhagavad Gita is small. You can read it in 2 to 3 hours. The big books are extensive commentaries by modern scholars. People say you have to have a commentary because you cannot understand. It's not true. Krishna talk in a way that one can understand. If you
Yes.
have sufficient intellectual level, you can. Yes, sure, sometimes commentary is nice. Huh? But one can absolutely understand.
Understand. Yeah.
And when I read the 2 hour version,
Yeah.
the 2 to 3 hour original translation, it blew my mind because you can see the whole conversation between Krishna and
Krishna
Arjuna in
and
front
Arjuna.
of you. Because when you're reading the big book, you dive into someone's mind, a modern guru's mind, and you just dive in there. But when you are reading the 2 to 3 hour original version, the
Yeah.
whole thing is in front of you, so you get a good understanding of the whole thing. It blew my mind, and there I understood that this resonates very deeply with me.
Okay.
A couple years before that, I read a small book. It's called The Four Agreements. It's written by a native Mexican, American, traditional, like Native American author.
Okay.
And it is talking about finding inner freedom according to Toltec tradition, which is a non-religious native tradition of the Central America.
Mm.
And so that was my first introduction to spirituality. Then Bhagavad Gita happened. And they use somewhat different words, but it is so many parallels towards each other. Then a few years later, I started reading the Quran because, first of all, to be honest, I was interested in it because of political reasons, to understand where the Islamic world is coming from. But when I read it, it also blew my mind. And I understood that there is so much misunderstanding
Absolutely.
and that there is no issue in the truth of Quran, but perhaps in interpretation, in extreme like interpretations, in manipulations that the people and politicians and governments might be using. There are many issues.
Right.
And then particularly, I would like to talk about one specific, very simple aspect that I am just amazed how after 1,500 years of Quran and Islam being on earth, and so many intellectual societies, both in West and in the East, 95% of people are not aware of this. So Allah is not a name, it's a word. In English, you have God.
Right.
In Hindi, you have, is it Bhagavan
Bhagwan.
or Ishvara?
Ish Bhagwan.
Bhagavan. In Armenian, it is Astvat. In Russian, it is Bog. In Arabic, it is Allah. Indian Muslims I talk to, most of them are not aware of this. They think it's a name, like
It's
Ganesha.
not. It's not. Yeah, I get
Yeah. They think it's like the name of one god they believe in. But it is a term referring to the source, to the absolute. The second misunderstanding, now this, and the Hindus also, by the way, of course. So Hindus also think that Allah is like the name of their god. Muslim is also a word, an Arabic word, and it means to be obedient to God. Now, any good Hindu, a bhakt, is obedient to God. So Muslim is the translation of the term bhakt. So here we see that a Hindu bhakt and a Muslim bhakt are both
Yeah.
bhakt, both trying to serve the source, but because of the manipulations of the
Divide and rule. That's
of bad people and whatever politicians, or another huge misunderstanding that now the Muslim world has towards the Hindus. They think in Sanatan Dharma it is multiple gods. It is not. It is many devas. It is not many Ishwaras.
Yeah.
There is, in Sanatan Dharma, there is a single creator of the universe with the three faces, three aspects, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiv, Mahesh. But you have one creator. And then the devas, if you translate the term deva into the Abrahamic religions, then you don't get God, you get angel.
Yeah.
So
You
there
get
are many
angels and
angels
archangels.
in Christianity and in Islam, and both the Christian world and the Islamic world is okay with that. So the devas are like angels, they are not like gods. So it's not many gods, it's a single creator in Sanatana Dharma. So if, and one more thing, the misunderstanding between Christians and Muslims now.
Okay.
So Muslims, many Christians think that Allah again is a name of another God, but the Quran is very clear about. It says Allah is the God of Moses, the God of Jesus,
Yeah.
and the God of Abraham. So Jesus, according to Islam, is the Isa who was promised. So according to Islam, Jesus in a way is a higher being than Muhammad, according to true Quran. Now, according to Quran, Muhammad is the last prophet, but Jesus is the Isa. There was going to be one Isa. So there is big respect from Quran towards Jesus, and according to Quran, both Christians and Muslims, they go to heaven, true believers. But again, the misunderstandings. So according to Quran, believers will go to heaven, and then a believer is someone who is connected with God. Now, there is the manipulation that if someone is from a different religion, they are not a believer. But a Hindu spiritual person connected to the source, a Christian person connected to Christ, uh, and uh, a Muslim person connected to Allah, all of them are believers. And there should be unity and love from these communities towards each other.
Right.
There should not be conflict, because in truth, there is no conflict between them. Only love, only peace.
Okay, right. So again, Armen, how would you define spirituality?
Nice one. In the West, in a lot of the Western Europe and America, a human is thought to be a biological machine consisting of molecules and atoms. The world is thought to be a mechanical system that consists of atoms, and it is working just according to rules of physics in this mechanical way. That is non-spirituality. The belief that we are only this body, we are only this matter, that is non-spirituality. Spirituality is the opposite of that. Spirituality is the awareness, the feeling, the understanding that there is something beyond. There is this Satchitananda, or consciousness, bliss, this divinely created and divine spirit that we are. That is spirituality.
Okay. And
Believing in that the universe is magical, that it is beautiful, that things happen for good reasons rather than just randomly.
right. Uh, According to you, that is right. So again, as we were talking about the conflicts about religion and spirituality that's happening, right? So, what do you think? Like, a person who's religious, is he spiritual enough, or a person who is spiritual can be religious also?
A person who is spiritual can be religious.
Yeah.
Now, religion, that said, is a limiting term. It's a limiting term. There is God, there are prophets, there are avatars, and they lived and happened and did what they did.
Yeah.
And then the people created the religions around that. Well, at the end of the day, it's a word. And in someone's mind, religion might mean spirituality. In someone's mind, religion might be this thing that is used to control people. But the term, let's make a difference between
Spirituality and
spirituality
religious.
and between religiousness.
Yeah.
Let's define religion as a system of concrete specific rules that one has to believe in and live according to
It.
in order to please God, let's say, or be a good person. Now, even we who are so small compared to God can understand that God is so big that He wouldn't want people to just live by rules and you don't. God wouldn't want that. Even we can understand. So He, being so much bigger than us, it is very intuitive that He would create a more complex, bigger system with more natural mm, and intuitive
Why it's he?
truths.
Just, I'm sorry to
It's
interrupt.
she. It's not he. It's she.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just correct.
It
Yeah,
is. It is absolutely both.
absolutely
Both or
both.
none.
Both are
Either
not.
none or both. So the Shiva and Shakti come together
Yeah.
to create it. On the other hand, in the formless state, you have absolute consciousness, which is devoid of any gender. Now, in Sanatan Dharma, the male and female usually are very harmonious. But in Hinduism, the religion, it is very male centric
Yes, it is.
because the men decide, they rule, they say do this, don't do that. But in Sanatan Dharma, it's more harmonious. Now, religion again is a set of rules and believe things that you have to believe in, you should believe in. Now, let's think deeply about the concept of believing. So, believing means having a certain concept in the mind and putting intention to force it to be true. I believe in this. I don't know it, but I try to believe in that. I don't think God would want that. So God would want you, I think, to get to know her or him, to feel, to have an interaction. And then what is true is true. Do I need to believe that if I drop an apple, it's not gonna fly to the ceiling? I don't need to believe that. I live that reality. I feel that. I interact with that, and it is intuitive. If I have to believe in something blindly, that is not very respectful from the point of view of God, even. Because God might be like, hey, do you understand that this person asks you to believe in this, that person asks you to believe in that, that person asks you to believe in that, and all three of them say, no, you just believe and you will see what happens. Now, how are you supposed to choose? Whichever one was first, you were born in a certain society and they told you first to believe and you took that conditioning, and to the later ones you say no. Is it like that? Or is it by your own ego you decide which one to put force to believe in? And then when you believe, what if it's partially right and wrong? And then you are spending your life and energy into believing this thing. What if we don't believe in anything? What if we live naturally? And the truth that shows itself, we see. So if God manifests in an avatar out of thin air right now and talks to us, we won't need to believe in that, right? We will just see it and interact in it. It will be very natural.
Yeah.
Similarly, the books we read, the spiritual books, be it the Gita, the Bible, the Quran, what if we, instead of trying to blindly believe in that, we work with it?
We live it.
We live it. We work with it. We work with it and see if it becomes living with it. There might be many paths towards getting the source. There might be one amazing spiritual book, might not be for me. So if I try to live that, I might be forcing things. But if I work with it, I say, hey, let me try, is it resonating or not? And then it either becomes part of my path or it is not part of my path, and it's okay. One thing I love about Sanatana Dharma is in its own dogma, it shows that there are no dogmas. In truth, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, whatever form you follow, whatever path you follow, you are following the path towards the source at the end of the day. If this form, this path is the right one for you, be it. If that path is the one for you, so be it. So it is, in truth, it is openness and inclusivity. And hence, it makes it a bit sad that the current, a lot of the current directions are more exclusive and saying, no, only this is the path.
Okay. So, Armen, as you're coaching many people and you've been doing that for 7 years, do you customize your sessions or your what I'm calling session therapy or whatever it is? Sessions. So you customize every individual, or like how does it work?
It is absolutely customized.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Every session with the same person is absolutely different, and not even to talk about other people. So what we will do depends on who they are, where they are in the certain moment, where I am now, the space between us, and this current reality that we are in. So from the truth of that moment, we will identify the most impactful work that can be done in the particular hour to either raise awareness, figure out the blocks in the mind and resolve them, or get important understandings that we're missing, or I might give them a challenge. I might challenge them during the session and ask some questions, make it hard for them for like 10-15 minutes to try to get to a deeper point. And then throughout the week, they might work with that and analyze and then come back for another session. I usually do one session per week.
Okay, per week.
Yeah, so it's intensive work.
Okay.
And then I also have an extensive library of more than 500, some of the best books in the world, both career, business, spirituality, personal growth, mind, psychology, wellness. So I assign them some readings from the library according to what I figured out would give them the best boost in the moment. And then the next week we catch
So it's always like one-on-one in person, or it can be done if the person is somewhere else and wants a session from you. How does that person
Mostly currently I do Zoom.
Zoom?
When I'm in Bali, I do offline
Yeah.
with the people there. I'm now getting interested with working with groups also. So far, mostly I've been doing individual. It was very important to work individually to figure out all the important, deep details about the work and the interactions. Now interested to be working with groups as well.
Okay.
So my work currently consists of I teach meditation also, and I coach on meditation and awareness and well-being,
Okay.
intellectual development, career development, understanding the self deeply and the inner processes. Relationships also can come in hand with close ones, with romantic relationships, any kind of relationships.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the question is the following: how can I spend the next hour in order to take my life, the universe's life, and the lives of my loved ones to the next level as much as possible?
Okay.
And that encompasses all the aspects: the relationships, the well being, my relationship with myself, career, spirituality, meditation. Meditation is the art and the science of being the master of your attention and your mind and your energy.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's about that.
So as you when you are like doing sessions, any individual, it's a lot of energy exchange that happens, right? So what is your daily practice to keep yourself the calm way that you are after so much of energy exchange that's happening? There's specific kind of meditation, active, passive. What kind of meditation do you practice?
There
Or
are specific meditations I practice, and the goal for my spiritual development is to achieve the states of vairagya and moksha. So in vairagya, the world can be tough or easy around you. You might feeling pleasure or pain, but you have this centeredness. You're okay. You are Satchitananda. Deep inside, you're peace. So I try to strive towards that. So when I have energy exchange and conversations, sometimes it impacts me also, right? And then can I keep my center and my inner peace around all of that? That's one. Second, specifically talking about my daily practice, I practice Vipassana meditation. I practice Kriya Yoga. Vipassana is a, a, the term came from the Buddha. Maybe it was there before also. It means to see as it is. And it is a state of continuous awareness and a practice of continuous awareness towards what is. So I direct my attention towards the bodily sensations, towards my breath in a systematic manner. I can do it sitting 1 hour and doing it, go scanning my body over and over again. This is my temple, this is my house, going into the deep parts of it that are maybe dusty and like cleaning it up, bringing awareness into that. And also, it is a 24/7 practice for me. Any second I am alive, I a part of me is aware to be aware of what is, and the truth, my body, the space. That is the Vipassana practice. Now, Kriya Yoga, coming from Mahatar Babaji, Lairi Masha, Parmasa Yogananda, Swami Yukteswar. Kriya means work. So, Kriya Yoga is when you are using intent and your also will energy to um, work with well, I started talking about it, and then I realized that I was asked to talk about these questions only with initiated people. So
Okay.
with Kriya Yoga, I just know that it's a powerful, wonderful technique, scientific technique of working with the prana, with the energy, and achieving multiple times the evolution, right? Like 100x the evolution you can achieve in an hour if you just mindlessly watch TV. Compared to that, you can achieve 100x if you're doing Kriya Yoga, according to the Kriya Yoga sources.
Okay.
So that is my practice.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a wonderful thing to do for the self, actually,
Yeah,
is not sitting for a particular time or particular place and it's just happening
yeah,
by itself all the time.
yeah. And then the
Wonderful.
third important aspect, if I may,
Yeah, sure.
is figuring out, trying to understand how I can serve the source, serve the universal mother, serve God today a little bit. Now, religions put it easy. They say, uh, if you want to serve, then do this puja, like collect these flowers, just do these things. I think it's deeper than that.
Yes, it
To
is.
work with how can I really serve the source? Because when I'm really serving the source, I should be actually contributing to the uh, agenda of the source, right? But if I just do mechanical things, thinking that I'm contributing to the source, then the source might be like, well, okay, but like, what's the meaning of that?
True.
So spending some time each day in prayer and in communion, asking to how can I serve better.
Nice. Very
Thank you.
insightful was this, and we have less time and so much to talk that we are unable to cover it in this episode, maybe off the camera or maybe next time again. Uh, Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity of, and enlightening us with so much of knowledge and whatever the conversation we had. I truly enjoyed it,
My
and
pleasure.
I'm
I
sure
enjoyed it as
it's.
well. Thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much.
making this opportunity possible.
Thank you so much, Armen. Thank you. So, this was Armen with us, and of course, we have spoken about certain things that we have never done that on camera. So, let's finish it here today for this episode, and we will be back again with one more guest. And तब तक के लिए नमस्कार और अगर नहीं देखा है अच्छे से तो प्लीज रिवाइंड कीजिए और एपिसोड को रिपीट पे देखिए ठीक है थैंक यू मेक द मोस्ट आउट ऑफ इट थैंक यू सो मच